I'm back. There's been no Premier League football for so long with the coronavirus, so I've been away really, not doing any videos because, to be honest, I don't really see there's been too much to talk about in the world of football with no football matches being played for Manchester United or for any team across the world, and I thought I just didn't want to regurgitate all the bullshit that's out there, to be honest. But I thought I would come back this evening and do a transfer video because there has been a bit of talk on the transfer front for Manchester United, more so than a lot of clubs, but that probably a lot due to the boredom of the journalists and the papers and everyone else in football, that they don't have a fucking clue what else to talk about than Manchester United, because it is clickbait. It helps attract a lot of attention, and there's maybe some truth to some of the transfer rumours, that there probably is, but people are building them up more now because there's nothing else to talk about. Now, we've been linked with quite a few players recently in the last couple of weeks due to this coronavirus shit, and it would be building up now, because normally now they're coming towards the end of the season, it would be building up, yeah. But we're nowhere near finishing the season. Hopefully we can finish the season strongly, win the Europa League, hopefully, fingers crossed, get into that Champions League, and then build on it for next season. Because if we can get back into that Champions League, I think that it will look a bit more attractive project for for players coming to Manchester United. I really do, because we've got some really good young players in and around the team. I mean, Bruno Fernandes, 25, 26, perfect sort of age just to come into his prime. You've got Rashford, still very young. You've got Mason Greenwood that's coming on leaps and bounds. I mean, there are some decent young talent in this Manchester United team, and I'm getting a bit excited for the future. If we can bring 2 or 3 top players in the summer, I do think that Manchester United will be, in a year or so, will be a stronger, a decent team, and could challenge for the title. But we've got to bring in 2 or 3 really top players that are going to make the difference for Manchester United, and not bring in willy-nilly players. And the first name, that the main man on everyone's lips at the moment, is obviously Jadon Sancho. Really hope this deal does actually get done for Manchester United, because we need probably one more attacking player, I believe. I mean, there is reports of obviously Jadon Sancho, and it will go hand in hand with the Harry Kane one, because they're both forward players, different players, a lot different players. Jadon Sancho can play it on the left or the right. He's shown that at Borussia Dortmund. His stats are pretty decent in both right and left, and we've lacked someone on that right hand side. We've seen a lot of players play there on that right hand side, and it seems to have been a problem for Manchester United, so that would get solved if Manchester United brought Jadon Sancho in. Now, what front three he would play if Jadon Sancho comes to Manchester United, I think we are in pole position at this moment in time to sign the Englishman, and at only 20 years of age would I mean, Manchester United's forward line would look good in a year or two, because the players would then be gradually getting ready to hit their prime years. And I mean, he's already got a ridiculous goals and assist ratio in Borussia Dortmund. In a year or two, he will probably be getting 15, 20 goals and assists in the season, which is incredible to think if he does keep improving. And obviously with him up, I mean, if you've got him on the right, maybe Rashford on the left, and Martial in that forward position, that's a decent front three. And then along with Mason Greenwood, who would probably be looking next season to be trying to push Anthony Martial out that starting lineup, then you're looking at, if you had Greenwood up front, Rashford on the left, and Sancho on the right. I mean, that is a tasty front three, in my opinion, going forward in a year or two. It really is. And I mean, obviously you've got Dan James as well there, who's still an exciting attacking winger. Different style of players to the other players that can offer some cover there as well. And then if we do keep Odion Ighalo, which I've come around to the prospect of keeping him, that would give Manchester United options up front. It really would. I mean, you'd have 3 strikers, you'd have two forward wide players who could play either side, and then you'd have Dan James as well, and you'd have Tahith Chong as well, which would give Manchester United a lot of options up front. It really would. Which is probably why I would go. I mean, when we signed Odion Ighalo in January on loan, I was not really that happy about it, but I thought, well, you've got nothing to lose. He's coming in on loan just to bring him in. as backup man, and as backup man so far he's been brilliant for Manchester United in backup man. I mean, in the lesser games he's been great to have him against the likes of Derby and teams like that where he scored goals, which is great. And in Europa League he scored goals as well, which is good to see. If Manchester United could keep him, as he would be third choice for me behind Mason Greenwood and Anthony Martial. Either of them two would be fighting it out for the first team spot for me, but to have him as third choice would be great. And I mean, Greenwood obviously can still utilise him out wide a lot of the time. I think he will probably still play out wide for Manchester United at this moment in time, but it does look like obviously that Martial will play mainly as a centre forward now in his Manchester United career under Solskjaer. So I mean, we've been hearing obviously about 100 million for Sancho, and then we're hearing sort of 200 million for Harry Kane, which I think is absolutely crazy. I think the market will probably go down now with this coronavirus shit going on in the world, which if it does go down, still Harry Kane, he's probably worth around the same price for me at this moment in time as Jadon Sancho, because Jadon Sancho's just turned 20, Harry Kane's about to turn 27, and when I think in the last 3 years or something, I see a stat where it says that Harry Kane's missed a quarter of Tottenham's games. Now at 27 years of age, if Manchester United bring him in, we'll bring him in for the here and now, like we did when we brought in Robin Van Persie, just the here and now. He's a little bit younger than Van Persie, I think, was when we signed him. I think he was about 28, 29 when we signed Van Persie. But he's had these injury problems over the last couple of years, and there will be no resale value on Harry Kane if we have him 2 or 3 years. When players get ready to hit their 30s, the resale value, especially if he gets any more injuries, will plummet down a lot, and we'll lose a lot of money on him. So I think with the options that we have up front, if we sign Jadon Sancho, I mean, it would put, if we sign Jadon Sancho and Harry Kane, which I can't see it happening, but if we were to sign both of them, then Mason Greenwood and Tai Chong would get hardly any look in. And Mason Greenwood, I think his goal scoring record's 12 goals in 15 starts this season, or is it 15 or 16 starts anyway. And that's phenomenal for his first season at Manchester United. Most of the time he's come off the bench for the last few minutes, like he did in our last Europa League game before the coronavirus break, scoring in the last minute. And I would like to see him develop. I mean, 12 goals already this season. If he had played regularly, he would have definitely hit that 20 goal barrier this season. And that would be in his first season, and he's going to probably improve next season, and he may get to the level of Harry Kane in the next couple of years. And I mean, we could have Mason Greenwood for the next 10, 12 years at Manchester United. So I would stick away from the Harry Kane. I think the time has passed for Manchester United to sign Harry Kane for a big fee now. I think it would be a bit of a risk on his injury front, but I mean, if we did sign him, then great. Okay, if he scored 30 odd goals next season, that would be great. But I would, out the two, go for Jadon Sancho, because he can play on the right, play on the left, scores goals, creates goals, and would get more years out of him. And if he's absolutely smashing it by the age of 26, 27, and Real Madrid come in with a massive £250 million offer, and Manchester United have to accept, then at least we've made money on him, and we've got a few years out of him, and hopefully he's won us trophies as well. Now, the next two pretty much go hand in hand. It will be either one of these two, Maddison or Grealish. Now, if I was to pick one out of the two, I'd probably go for the cheaper option of Jack Grealish. I know he didn't help himself with the shit that's come out over the coronavirus outbreak a few weeks ago, and he's got himself in a bit of shit, but we've had that with players in the past, with the likes of Wayne Rooney, and Wayne Rooney still had a great Manchester United career. I think he would probably be the better of the two options for Manchester United. Not only is he cheaper, I just think he would be the better option for Manchester United if we are to sign him. But would signing Jack Grealish mean that Paul Pogba leaves Manchester United? That is the big question mark, and I would like to see how Pogba does fare for Manchester United alongside Bruno Fernandes and whoever the third man in midfield is, whether it's Scott McTominay, Nemanja Matic, or whichever one, or Fred, whichever of the three it is. I would like to see a midfield three with Pogba and Bruno Fernandes in before the end of the season. We should see that if the Premier League does resume. because Paul Pogba surely is fit now to play for Manchester United. So let's see how that goes. But if we do bring another midfield, attacking midfield, whatever you want to call him, number 10 in Jack Grealish, I would be happy with that. 60 million, but that will take our spending to almost over 150 million already. And then I don't know what else Manchester United are going to do in that. There probably will be another signing for Manchester United. I would expect 3, possibly 4 signings in the summer. So that they would be the 2 for Manchester United, and then whoever else. I mean, we still are getting linked with a lot of other players. We're getting linked with centre halves, which I don't know if that is the most problem area for Manchester United going forward, but we will have to wait and see. I mean, we could still bring in another centre half, but the likes of Phil Jones will have to leave Manchester United if we do bring another centre half in. But the likes of Koulibaly will cost around 100 million. And do Manchester United have the sort of money to spend 300 million on players this summer? I don't know, but we will have to wait and see there. But they are the 2 obviously problem positions I see: the right side of midfield, and maybe the number 10 or attacking player that Manchester United maybe need for some more options going forward. There has also been talk of Jude Bellingham still coming to Manchester United from Birmingham. He's still only, I think he's only just turned 16. So if Manchester United are going to sign him, will his future be at Manchester United next season? I don't know. Will he go out on loan? I would say probably would go out on loan, because Manchester United have got a lot of young players in and around the squad as well that are going to need minutes, and whether they're going to go on loan or play some first team games next season is to be seen for Manchester United. But we've got the likes of obviously James Garner, Dylan Levitt, Angel Gomez, whether he stays or goes. I mean, that is 3 players that are not getting game time at all for Manchester United, and they could all probably make it at a Premier League club. I mean, Dylan Levitt looks fantastic for the reserves. James Garner has looked good for the reserves, and I mean, Angel Gomez has had his problems as he's developed up the age groups, but is still a fantastic talent. All 3 of them need football next season, and will they go out on loan or will they stay at Manchester United? We will have to wait and see. But hopefully, it does look like Manchester United maybe are trying to get business done early this time around. We have flapped around a lot in the past, Manchester United have, but hopefully Manchester United can get their business done early in the summer, because we don't know when the season's going to finish and when the next season's going to start and when the transfer window is going to start and finish. So we will have to wait and see on that. But hopefully Manchester United can get the business done early, get this season finished, get some Champions League football and move forward. But anyway, that's just my thoughts on the transfers. Hopefully the Premier League season will resume soon, and then I will up the content again. But there's no point just constantly talking about players coming in, players coming out, because there's not much more than that, to be honest. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll talk to you all again soon.